Hi guys, welcome back to part 2. Yesterday was so crazy. We have
insane.
Mike and Natalie on their stuff all over again. Where do we even begin? We had bickering the whole time. It seems like Natalie has gotten really close with her friend. I think that they bond because they're from the same place, so they can, speak to each other.
Juliana.
Yeah. And we found out that she has rooms that she stays at and that she hasn't been at home since December.
Yeah, she's not sleeping at home. And she barely even goes there. She even to just get clothes.
That is crazy. What you don't know behind closed doors. Also, Mike was like, I'm sick and tired of you saying what you think my mom has said. Pick up the phone and call her. Let's straighten it out. And you know what? I thought this would have been an ample a good time to put everything on the table with them.
Yeah.
And here, come to find out, it's another whole blowout. She actually hung up on his mother because she didn't like what she got to say.
Well, she wouldn't even really ask about the hooker comment until Mike brought it up, which I've always found peculiar. Like, if someone calls you something and you have every opportunity to confront them about it in a non-violent scenario, like Trish isn't going to beat her up, she never wants to bring it up, which makes me wonder if it actually took place or if this is just something that she made up to cause bickering in the relationship, because there's clearly humongous holes in this relationship. She hasn't slept at home in months. And she went to the surgery without Mike, and she finds every opportunity she can to take Mike out of her life. So I'm beginning to wonder what's really going on, and it's finally things are hitting the fan, and Mike is basically done. After tonight's episode, he threw his hands up in the air, and he's like, you know what, I'm just done with whatever this is. We've all been done for months, but Mike has caught up with us because at some point he has to realize no matter what he says or does, Natalie and he and Natalie will never be on the same page. There's never going to be a meet in the middle, eye to eye moment. It's always going to be, I said this, you said that, and we can't agree.
I think that we all saw it best when he was in her country visiting her the last time, and they kind of like broke up and she gave the ring back. That should have been indication right there. It was over.
It was done.
They should have never made it down the aisle. Every red flag known to man was thrown at them, and they still ignored it. So at some point, you just can't feel bad for people because it is what it is. But let's move on.
Yeah, let's talk about this horribly awkward situation with Michael and Angela
Do
last
we even
night.
talk about this? This is X-rated. Hide your kids.
Yeah, if you have kids or if you're under 18, turn this off now or mute it. So Michael tells us that he doesn't believe in masturbating because it's against his religion. But he was speaking with his friends and they said, well, this is how, the fertilization process works, because Angela is at the age where she may not be able to tote a baby.
I hate that. Let's not
carry a baby.
Let's not
and
anything.
So they were explaining to him the process of how that took place. And obviously he brought the information to Angela, which Angela reacted how we knew Angela would react, by saying, is there something wrong with you? Are you crazy? There's no way. And then she eventually says, oh, well, if you do it, I want to be on the video chat with you. And now all of us in America have this horrible, terrible, unacceptable image in our mind of Angela on video
chat
what
you're doing today.
With Michael producing a specimen, which I don't even know where to start.
We're going to move on from this one because I think everyone will thank me in the long run.
I don't want to, if Michael does have a child, Angela, I don't want to know how it was conceived, how it took place. And I don't ever want to have that visualization in my mind of this horrible
and this is any of these couples
situation.
Don't get us wrong, it's not because she's her and he's him, like don't come for us in the comments talking about how we're discriminating. No,
we're not gonna subscribe to your OnlyFans.
I don't want to know about any of these couples and how their children were born and any of that. Let's put just the pieces together. But no, it's just too much for the TV.
We're gonna leave that one there where it is. So let's finish up and let's talk about Andre and Libby. So after the disastrous family reunion in Maryland,
they keep getting together with the family.
Yes. But look at this though. Andre and Chuck are like best bros. They're like super close now. They're talking more than ever, and they visit the home that Chuck had purchased just for Andre to learn how to flip. And the house, in my opinion, looked terrible, but everyone else on the show said it had a lot of appeal. And
Libby said it smelled
Well, yeah, it looked terrible to me. So if they're going to flip it, and they said they're going to flip it to about $280,000 worth of home, I want to see Andre do that, because we all know that Andre, when he demoed a refrigerator, instead of taking it out and taking it to the curb, he ripped the doors off and ripped the hinges off of it. So I want to see him transform this home into a $280,000 home. And that's just exciting for me to even think about, because I haven't seen Andre work at all this whole time he's been on the show. So I'm just excited to see that.
They're at a good place. This family is not meant to be together either, and they yet keep coming together. And
every episode.
It's a fight everywhere, and I think it's to the point where it's like, it's beyond to the point where you're like, okay, is this good TV or whatever? It's about like their family. Like, they all have children. The children are always present during these fights. This is just like, it's a lot. I can't imagine being a little child. You have a camera crew on you. You know, you're filming, then mommy, daddy, aunt, uncle, whatever, they're fighting constantly. I'm glad that her dad is able to see eye to eye with Andre finally, so that way they can be at peace.
They're at peace, but the family isn't. So let's talk about what you said with the children. So at Ellie's second birthday party, is when they decided to confront Andre about the home at the party, and
because that was appropriate.
That was appropriate, and I just felt terrible for the little girl, because she's trying to
she's so cute, have
her party, and everything was really nice. The cake was nice. Andre tried to cut it early, but everything was great. And his Aunt Jen and Aunt Becky and Andre, everyone is screaming and yelling and cursing, and it made me cringe, because there are so many children there trying to enjoy themselves. And guys, make sure that the fighting and the bickering doesn't get in the way of the children.
Tacky. It's tacky and it's toxic. Like, they don't need that. You don't want your children to grow up to go straight to, like, you know, see a therapist because you can't get your life in order. Like,
don't invite people if you think that there's going to be an explosion or whatever. And I know family is supposed to be family, but family has to know how to behave and act correctly when there are children around and other family members.
Too little.
So we did see cake being thrown in next week's preview. So apparently nobody was under control of their tempers, so we'll see about this more next week. But from what I saw in the previews, it's only going to get worse, because there was also a fight outside of a pool in the backyard of someone's home as well, and this is not counting the fight we saw last night. It's unfortunate, and I just wish everybody would get along. I said this last night too, or on Twitter. I said that I really wish that Andre would just get a job outside of the family business, and that would resolve everything. If he could just get a job somewhere else, not linked to anyone in Libby's family, this would be completely resolved.
But why should he have to? They're so full of jealousy. None of them are secure with themselves. I mean, this is your family business. This is your dad. You guys have been doing this longer than he's been in the picture. Where is your sense of security? Like, if this was another 9-to-5 job, you're going to have coworkers that you don't get along with. What are you going to do? Sabotage your own career, sabotage their career, all because you can't play well with each other? Like, come on. This is a family business. Whether you like it or not, he's in your family. He's with your sister. They have a kid. They're married. So the money's in your family, whether it goes to you, whether it goes to Libby, whether it goes to Ellie, whatever. Stop sabotaging yourselves, because it's still in the family.
It is a family business. Andre is part of the family. You're right. He does need to act a little nicer towards the family members, and I feel like things might come a little easier. And
I'm not team him at all, but you know what? They all need to grow up.
I agree. Everybody in the situation needs to mature, because hating your sister or brother or spouse is so immature. Guys, she has a child with him. He's not going anywhere. They're in love. She will defend him to the end. All right, on that note, I'm George Mossey. This is my co-host Heather C. Make sure you follow me on my new Twitter at George Mossey, and you follow her on her old Twitter at Pinky69Brit. And we will talk to you guys really soon. We'll be live tweeting next Sunday night for the new episode of Happily Ever After, and I hope you are there too. Bye.
Bye.